and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Monday night Q&A live stream where it's time to talk about Celtic as always, but I get to have your say, your opinion, and a conversation with the subscribers as we head. I mean, the year's flying in already, nearly halfway through January. It feels like yesterday we were on the live stream here talking about the new year, and here we are already. So, I mean, we're all dying. Not to be bleak. Hello though, it's nice to see you. We're going to obviously talk about the game against Dundee tomorrow night. We're going to cover Brendan Rodgers' press conference this afternoon, the news that came out from that, and a couple of transfer stories before getting into the long Q&A session. But it's nice to see you all piling in. Just over 100 viewers here already. I do appreciate you all so very much. Mackenzie, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Hi Ryan, thoughts on Palma's deal breaking down, and this should be my second month. Well, that's right, happy second month, and I see that you've obviously got the Thunder Club membership. Hello Alistair, who's been a member for 4 months, by the way. That's incredible loyalty. So we'll get on to the Palma stuff. We'll get there, Mackenzie, don't worry, we'll come to that at the end. I obviously don't know the ins and outs of what is happening. The reports are changing very, very quickly. In fact, now that you've said it, I better go and do my research, because one of the things we were going to talk about was that deal that was meant to be happening. Oh yes, of course, yeah, we'll come on to it. Hello, nice to see you. Let's start with the good news, shall we? Let's start with Brendan Rodgers' press conference this afternoon, in which he confirmed that Nicholas KUHN is ready to return to action, and we also got a slightly positive update on Dyson MAEDA. Maybe not as positive as Nicholas KUHN, and we still await to see if he'll be back for tomorrow night's game, but nonetheless, to have at least one of the two back is a positive, I would say. So, in relation to the players, he said Nicholas KUHN is back, but we'll give Dyson one more day to see how he reacts. But everything is good with Nicholas being back. Everyone else is the same. So, confirmation that we probably should see Nicholas KUHN tomorrow night. And we're in that situation, that position, where I don't think Brendan Rodgers has much of a choice when it comes to resting. I know it would be an ideal situation not to rush him back and maybe only play a limited amount of minutes, but I assume he will need to start the game. If he doesn't start the game, we are going to be very light in the wings. So we need that to happen going into the game tomorrow. Dyson MAEDA hopefully will be fit as well, but Brendan Rodgers says he's going to give him that one more day. That makes me think, I suspect that we won't see him play tomorrow night, and if he is involved in any sort of capacity, it'll probably be on the bench. But listen, as I said, one of the two back. We still have a team that's good enough to go up to Dundee tomorrow night and get a result. Tough game though, absolutely tough game. We've seen how, I mean, listen, we're talking about Rangers here who are pretty rotten, but you've seen how they played against Rangers last week. They're a decent side. They can grind out results when they need to. Tony Dock has done a fantastic job with them up there. So we'll come on to that in a moment. But the good news from Brendan Rodgers in that press conference is that Nicholas KUHN is set to return. Aside from that, nothing too big at the press conference this afternoon. However, he did address the Kyogo situation. Of course, everything that happened with Atlanta United. We were waiting to see what he would say. We did get a wee bit over the weekend. And obviously there was a lot of rumours swirling around after that horrible bit of journalism from the MLS website. But Brendan Rodgers delivered a blunt transfer message. It has been quoted in several publications. Rodgers said, if a player doesn't want to be here, then go. That's what it is at this point. The club has to get the best possible deal, though, and I can't see the point, and I don't ever see the point in keeping someone here who doesn't want to be here. But I think for us, it's all eventualities, and that's what we prepare for, whether it's injuries, whether it's transfers. I think you just need to always be ready, and that is our message. But as for Kyogo, at this moment in time, he's happy. He's working well, scoring goals, and enjoying his football. So Brendan Rodgers, pretty much over the course of these last couple of press conferences, rubbishing the Kyogo stuff. He did say on Super Scoreboard that he sees his work as intensity. He doesn't want to go anywhere. So I think that we've had basically... Listen, I said it anyway. This isn't me saying anything new. It's essentially everything that I've said in the last few videos in relation to the potential Kyogo exit. Since it kind of all calmed down. I don't see him going anywhere this window. I just come back to what I said with the Matthias Kvistgaarden links. I would happily sit on stream and eat my limbs, eat both my arms and legs if Kyogo was to go and Kvistgaarden was to come in. Now, don't get me wrong, at the start of the window and as that Atlanta stuff was happening, I was thinking to myself, oh, this might be it. He might be off. But I think we've seen at the weekend his performance, the 2 goals that he scored up at Dingwall, and I think you can see with the way that all of this Atlanta stuff has transpired that Kyogo isn't going anywhere, I think, anytime soon. End of the season, we might need to evaluate that again. Who knows? And I'm sure that rumours will swirl once more. But for the moment, for the time being, doesn't look he's going anywhere, and Brendan Rodgers also touched on that in the press conference this afternoon. So yeah, that was the big news from the press conferences. That Nicholas KUHN is back, Dyson MAEDA is close to being back, and Kyogo, well, he's not going anywhere. Fantastic. Let me take a sip of tea. Brilliant. So, before I get on to Q's and A's and the last couple of bits of news, it is Dundee we take on tomorrow, and obviously this isn't a kind of traditional match preview stream with my normal starting 11 prediction, but we're at that stage where we've hit January, we've seen how Celtic can play, we've seen the heights that we can hit, and I think we can all just be pretty honest with one another in the evaluation of Celtic should be winning anywhere they go, and that includes Rangers, that includes Aberdeen, Dundee United, whoever. Dundee, who are an impressive side. I think they've been really good this season. As I said, I think Tony Docherty's done a fantastic job with them. Still think that Celtic should be going up there and winning with no bother. However, right now, Dundee sitting 8th in the Premiership table. Their last few results, well, it's been kind of hit and miss. Rangers, of course, the 1-1 draw. We'll come back to that. St Johnstone, they won 3-1, and then before that they lost in the derby. But you know, it's kind of just been a story of their season. They get a good result and then they kind of go down a wee bit. That's just Dundee. But I think that when you watch them in defeat, very rare have I watched them in defeat this season and thought, oh, they were humming, they were hopeless. I think they got battered off Aberdeen back in November, and apart from that, I've really not seen Dundee suffer badly this season, and I think that just is a testament to the way that they can play and the way that they can set up. I go back to the Rangers game on Thursday last week, and I go to their team, and I mean, some of those players were running their hearts out. The boy Adewumi, who was easily the man of the match, the goal scorer for them on the day. I sat there and I watched it second half. Unbelievable. He was busting a gut up and down that park, defensively and attacking. You know, he could have scored another couple in the game. I think that Adewumi was just fantastic. Tomorrow he'll be the player that Celtic need to look out for should he be playing, and I'm assuming that he will. But they've obviously got their dangers. They've got Simon Murray, who, when given chances, can score goals. They've got good defenders who can make the game solid for us. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walkover. And I think tomorrow night I'm expecting Celtic to be tested in the same way that they were tested at Dingwall and at the weekend. And that was, you know, having to wait, and patience was key. So, I mean, I see a lot of similarities in Dundee and Ross County. You know that? I think I see a lot of similarities in the sense of how their seasons have gone. And their performances haven't exactly reflected the position where they are in the league table right now. Dundee, who find themselves 8th, and that's probably just down to how tight the table is. I mean, you look at Ross County, if they beat Celtic at the weekend, they would have flew into the top half. But Ross County sit 10th. They've been much better than 10th. 10th doesn't summarise their season. It doesn't speak for where they are in that league table. It's just so close down there. And Dundee, once again, they're sitting at 8th going into this game. I think they've looked a lot better than 8th. It's just that table. I mean, Hibs a couple of weeks ago were bottom of the league, and now they're up in the top half. That's just the nature of that part of the table right now. So, you know, if you don't keep up with the rest of the league, if you just go into these on a whim and thinking that all these teams should be a walkover, well, trust me, Dundee, just like Ross County, they aren't a walkover. It's a difficult game, and keep an eye out for a few of those players who can cause Celtic problems. As for my starting 11 prediction, well, I'm not going to go through the entirety of it because I want to get to the Q&A, and I've got 5-a-sides tonight, but I think we'll see a lot of the same players on the pitch. The big question is, will he go for that Kyogo on the left, either up front again, if Maeda's still out? I have a feeling he might, but Yang has played decent in the last couple of games. Certainly not in the Yang gang yet. And I still have my biggest of reservations for Yang, to be quite honest. But he's played well, and sometimes you need to reward form. So I think he's got a couple of options. If Maeda is still out, KUHN can obviously come back in. You can play Ida and Kyogo, but Ida has been off the boil, so you can put Yang in there. You can certainly experiment a wee bit, put Kyogo back up top. I think that's where the biggest conversation comes in, but a few players with a start tomorrow night, we're in a good position. Listen, whatever 11 Brendan Rodgers fields tomorrow night, I'm fairly confident. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I've got a few comments coming in around the Dundee game, so let's get a few of them before I move. This isn't the Q&A yet. But let's get a couple of thoughts on that game tomorrow night. Hello, Alex. Hi, Ryan. Finally made it home in time for your stream. Hope you're doing good. I am doing good, and I hope you're doing good as well. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let's see, anybody saying much about this game? Would you be for or against Kenny starting tomorrow? Listen, I know it's very easy for us to get confident on somebody and carried away a wee bit. No, of course not. I don't think Kenny should start tomorrow. And that's not a slight on Kenny, but I think he'll understand the position he's in. It's not going to be a start for him. I'd be pleasantly surprised when players are back, the squad's back to full fitness, if we see him involved as much. But I hope he is. I want to see him involved. I just don't think he'll be starting any games anytime soon when you've got Kyogo and a £9 million leader there. And I know Ada's not been good, but Rodgers isn't going to suddenly bid him after spending that sort of money on him. That's just me looking at it realistically, not what I want to happen or anything like that. So yeah. Paul, nice to see you, Paul. Absolute legend, saying loved Yoggers on the wing. Would really like to see that again. Yoggers. God, you're trying to wind up somebody, aren't you? You're trying to wind up somebody. Don't think we'll see wholesale changes, but I'd love to see Sinsalo and Kenny start against Kilmarnock in the Cup. I'm going to come. Listen, the Cup draws haven't been nice for Celtic this year. I know people will go, we had Falkirk. Falkirk are flying. Falkirk we couldn't take lightly. Kilmarnock, it's not a game where Rodgers is going to take unnecessary risk. May I remind, and I know it's at Celtic Park, may I remind you though, Kilmarnock knocked us out the League Cup last year. And I know it's at Celtic Park, but there's no way that he's going to start any of these players in a game that Derek McInnes could easily pull one over Brendan Rodgers. It's a nice dream, Nathan, and it's not obviously a dig at you or anything like that. I just would be incredibly surprised if we see any of that happen. It would be nice, but the draw's not been nice enough for us to do that. Rodgers isn't as naive to go out there and do that. And I think we've seen that in the early stages of the League Cup this season. Well, look, McCowan come in again, asked the Celtic unrestricted view. I think we'll see him in some capacity, absolutely, tomorrow. Whether that's a start or not, I don't know. I think there's so many different options for Celtic in the middle of the park that, we don't really know. So, yeah, a lot of people asking about Louis Barry. Come on to it in a moment. I'm finishing off on the Dundee game first, and I've got a couple of other things to run through, and then we'll get into the Q&A. But, yeah, look, we're in a situation right now where we should just be winning these games, and I feel whatever team goes out there tomorrow, whether it was Kenny up front, whether it was Kyogo or Adamida, whoever it is, we should be doing it. Now, I see a lot of people asking about Louis Barry and links potentially to Celtic. I believe Louis Barry was on loan to Stockport for the first portion of the season, and he's now getting linked to Celtic. Now, I don't think... I'm just going to get this done and out the way because I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on it. This news has broke via... What is the source? Who is the source? It's not Football Insider, is it? Because if it's Football Insider, we can forget all about it, if you're asking me. I don't see any credible sources reporting on Louis Barry. I see Celtic supporters clubs talking about it. I don't know where they've exactly got the information from. I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and yeah. So I see the Daily Record reporting on it. Once again, not exactly the most credible. That was featured in the hotline. Yeah, I think Celtic's name is Peter O'Rourke. There we go. Peter O'Rourke. Who's he with? Footy Insider. Yeah, nah, lads, nah. It's not happening. Peter O'Rourke of Football Insider. I'm not buying it. Nothing on Pete at all, but anything that I see reported by Footy Insider is an automatic big no-no for me. Apparently there's a number of clubs looking at it. I feel like this is just one of these ones where I see that Celtic's name has been thrown in around it. So this is me live reacting to it in stream. It's the first I've heard of it. I see that it actually broke this afternoon. And all I'll say to that is if it's the first that I'm hearing of it, if I've not heard it from anywhere else, I very much doubt there's much truth in it. It's easy clicks. It's easy clicks, lads. Anyway, before we get on to the Q&A, because we're 15 minutes into this stream already, the Luis Palma stuff we need to talk about very quickly. So there was reports that came out yesterday that Luis Palma was set to complete his move to Rayo Vallecano over the coming week. as soon as the end of this week, in fact, the reports came out from a stadio in Spain that Luis Palma was to travel to Madrid this week to complete that move. It was a move that was going to be an initial loan deal that had an option to make it permanent for £2.1 million. Now, that was the latest as of yesterday. However, the last couple of hours, it's came out that the transfer is actually on hold. Now, I know a lot of people are going on about how folk are, it's collapsed and whatnot. He's still going to leave. He's still going to go in this window, whether it's Rayo Vallecano or not. He's going to go 100%. Just depends if the club can obviously find a deal in the same sort of region as this one that was meant to happen with Rayo Vallecano. But the deal has been put on hold right now because there is that FIFA have a transfer ban on Rayo Vallecano till 2026. Apparently, the club owe outstanding debts regarding transfers, but once paid, their embargo will be lifted. Now, that was reported by Relevo, who are a Spanish publication who work out of Madrid, I believe, have a very good insight to the situation. Whether or not Vallecano get that debt paid off in the next week or so, completely different situation altogether, but there was no shortage of clubs interested in Luis Palma. He still will go in this window. I just think it's typically Luis Palma fashion what's happening here in this situation. But yeah, we're at the point now where Palma still will go. It will happen. If you're desperate to see him go, don't worry. Otherwise, it's not exactly a huge deal right now. Celtic don't get Palma out the door. It's not like he's tied down to the European registration. You can take him out of the European registration. So, and obviously you don't want to destroy the lad's confidence or morale or anything like that, but if we're bringing in somebody who's better than him, then somebody's logically got to drop out. It's all going to be fine. It's not a huge deal, this, at all, and I suspect that in the coming days we'll be talking about Luis Palma not being a Celtic player. Thank you to Ewan. We'll get into the Q&A in a second. Thank you to Ewan, who has donated £5 saying, "Hi Ryan, hope you're well. Unfortunately, I've got to go to Ibrox on Sunday as my local team, Fraserburgh, are playing there in the Scottish Cup. Well, I send my best. Take care, watch yourself, wear a gas mask." No, I'm joking. But you know what? It's fair enough. Listen, unfortunate as it may be, I've never been. I've never stepped foot in Ibrox once in my life. Obviously, I've been outside in the surrounding areas and stuff, but I've never been in Ibrox ever. But come on to Fraserburgh, that's all I can say, and hopefully you can get an upset for the locals. Thank you to Declan as well for being a member for 3 months. Right, okay, let's do a Q&A for the last 15 minutes or so of this stream before I need to go and get my five-a-sides gear on. So it can be about anything. The game tomorrow night, Kieran Tierney, Luis Palma, anything you like. Obviously, a lot of people asked about the Louis Barry stuff. I don't know if it's Louis or Louis. I don't see much in it, lads. Not going to lie to you. And once again, I have heard nothing about it. So, is he good enough for Celtic? Yes, he showed it between January and May last year. He's had a rough season. Everybody has rough patches, rough seasons. Even the best. The bests always have one bad season, and there's always, it's hard to be consistent all the time. Obviously, it's a worry right now. I'm not denying that, but I stand by him completely. What do you think of Bogish as a Palmer replacement? Don't think it will happen, but it would be a class addition. I think the Bogish stuff is well in the past. I don't see it happening. I think that's a name that we're going to look at as one of those ones in a few years and go, he was linked with Celtic. I don't know. Obviously, there's interest if he was that close to apparently making a move to the club, but I think we're past it now. So yeah. Do I play Fives at Power League? No, I don't. We change up all the time, but I've never played Fives at Power League once. Will a point against Young Boys be enough? Technically, I think it is, but you want to win and secure everything and have it done. Celtic have something like a 96% chance of going through. It would be very difficult for Celtic to bugger it up now. It's 96% chance of getting through. A point would probably do it, but listen, let's just win the game, and we'll probably talk about that next week when the time comes. Where do you play at Fives, and are you any decent? Does anybody play anywhere at Fives? Is it just me and my mates who just end up playing every position? Like, when I'm knackered, I'll drop back, and then when I can be bothered, I'll go in the wing, and if I'm lazy, I'll go up top and sit like a fucking poacher. I'll go everywhere. The only place I can't go is in goals, because I'm useless in goals. Aye. I'll answer this quickly because I actually quite like this question. Are you excited to see Penta and Raw tonight? Of course. Also, fingers crossed the Eagles get into the Super Bowl. Hey, only watching for the Kendrick halftime show. Well, listen, enjoy the halftime show. It's not a halftime show, it's catered to me. I'm not a Kendrick guy, but I mean, I'm watching for these guys if they get there. Thank you. Fly, birds, fly. What's the thoughts on Sondre Ojazeta? Once again, still not looked up whether or not his pronunciation is what it is. I need to do that. Usually that's the first thing I do when we're linked with guys who have funky names. And I've not done it for Sondre yet, so I'll stick to Sondre. And look, listen, from my first impressions, he looks like a decent talent, guys. I think that he looks like somebody who could be of use to Celtic. And I like the Scandinavian market. Not saying it's necessarily been successful for us in recent times. Obviously the likes of Odin Thiago Holm, who's came in and flopped, but there has obviously been huge successes as well. I like the look of him. I think if Brendan wants him, then I want him. And it looks like it's close to happening. So, whether or not I like it or not, I'm going to have to like it, is what I'd say. But I think there's definitely a player there by the looks of things. I do need to scroll down, so if you want me to desperately answer something, just keep it coming in. And we'll get there. I like, where was Alex's though? I like that. I think the bogus stuff is a lot of bogus. Yeah, listen, I think there was a point where it looked like it was, I don't know if it was maybe just a lot of I don't know, we were all getting a little bit hyper at the thought of it completing in the last days of the window or whatnot, and then obviously Engels and such happened. I think if Engels didn't sign, there was probably a good chance of it happening, but we didn't need him in the end. I think it would have been a signing for the sake of a signing, to be quite honest. Seems like we're linked with a few wingers. Do you think it'll be one in, one out, or do you think if only Palma goes, we could bring in two? I think Celtic should be looking at two. I don't think they necessarily need to make it happen in this window. What I would say is due diligence is the most important thing. Don't sign a winger for the sake of signing a winger. If we need to go to the end of the season with KUHN, MAEDA, a new winger, Forrest and Yang, cool, that'll do till the end of the season. I know it could be better than that, and I want it to be better than that, but just make sure that we don't waste money for the sake of wasting money. If we need to do a little bit further scouting, then do the job properly, is what I'd say. Let's see, what else is there? Say what you want about Homie's class in FM. No, he is unbelievable. I did watch the Eagles game. I did indeed. Very happy, very happy. I'm telling you, Super Bowl's coming, boys. I feel it. That's because, do you know what? If they do win the Super Bowl, that's because I left an edition of a Brendan Rodgers autobiography on the steps of Lincoln Financial Field when I was there in April. It's all because of me. First season supporting them, Super Bowl. And it's no coincidence. I left the Rodgers book at the front door. That's why. Got to learn how to win, boys. Nick Sariani will be loving it. Young boys are rock bottom. Slovan, we slapped them silly. Well, listen, it's not as Declan. I know it's easy to say that, but listen, don't underestimate them. They need a result as well. They need to get something going from this group stage and take away some. There's money on the line as well, of course. He did look promising. I like him, and I hope he succeeds when he gets given chances. Matthew, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, and I will try and enjoy fives. It's the first time we've played since like November, so this might be the last you see of me because I could see myself collapsing. To be quite honest, I've just had steak and chips for my dinner about an hour ago, and it's still sitting heavy. Was not a good idea. There was nothing originally either. I seen loads, and I didn't even talk about it because it was just one of those ones. Very easy for a journalist to click onto, and that. Andy Irvine, West Ham, nothing in it. I don't think there ever was anything in it. And I've seen people in my videos constantly going, "Oh, Andy Irvine." I didn't even bother bringing it up in a video because, yeah, it would be a silly signing from Celtic. I mean, has he kicked a ball at West Ham? Nah, nothing in it, I don't think. Celtic's music choice has been getting slated recently. What wrestling themes would be best to drop at Parker's? The playlist is quite outdated, isn't it? Feels like a 2017 fucking nightclub playlist sometimes, when you get in early anyway. They should just do what they do down at Arsenal and West Ham and give us a different theme every half time for the teams coming back before they play the thingamajiggy. Sorry, my phone is going. Sorry, I'm getting rapid texts here. Oh, and now I'm talking into Siri. Hold on. Sorry lads. Sorry about that. And why is it Grados? Get Grados stream on, yeah. I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. I need to put my fucking... What I need to do is turn off my notification noises on my Apple Watch because that is not meant to happen. Sounds... Can I turn that off, please? Thank you. There we go. Sorry about that, lads. Hatati needs the boot. Oh my, that's quite quite brutal. Let's see. I quite like the thingamadoobie. What is the thingamadoobie? Did I say thingamadoobie? See, the LA files look suspicious. Suspicious? Is this an actual thing, or have you claimed they're suspicious? Why am I talking about the LA fires? We've got about 5 minutes left in this stream, and there's got also thoughts with everybody affected by the LA fires, should any of them be here watching. I don't imagine I have a big fan base in Los Angeles, but, you know, thoughts with them. God almighty. You just spend your streams responding to text. Listen, I'm a popular man. What happens if that's an exclusive? Huh? What happens if that was an exclusive? You wouldn't be moaning then, Wizard Mortal, would you? It's not an exclusive, but that's besides the point. Really, apparently somebody set it off. You're joking. No way. If that's... No way. I don't see it. I've typed it in and I don't see it. Why? But this is nuts. How's my stream turned into this? I don't see anything about the wildfires being deliberate. All I'm seeing is the death toll is climbing, which is, quite frankly... Right, we're getting way distracted here, right? Fucking hell. First I get text, and now we're looking at the stories of the wildfire. This is for a member stream, this. Let's see, right? A few more questions before I need to wrap up. We've got about 400 live viewers, by the way, so thank you very much. Connor saying that Engels' form has been great recently. The Arnie Army for the win. As I said on Twitter, Arnie Army rise. Listen, I think he's great. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think recently he's just been full of confidence, which is what you want in a player like him, who quite clearly thrives on it. And I think that there was a huge exaggeration of how poor he was. And listen, he wasn't great. He went through that period between, I would say, October to maybe early December, where he was maybe lacking on what we paid for, and maybe wasn't providing it. But people expect greatness so soon, and it was always going to be difficult with him with the price tag that was on his name. And I love that he's coming through and shining here. I mean, that's 3 games in a row he was man of the match there, and I think he was good at the weekend as well. So listen, he's just a great talent, and I think he's just going to get better and better, as I keep saying. Give him that full pre-season under Brendan Rodgers, and we're going to have an absolute field day with him next year. There was one I wanted to answer there, because has anyone left yet? Is Welsh away? Yes, Welsh is gone. He officially joined Mechelen on loan in Belgium, so he's away till the end of the season. Apart from that, that's the only one that is officially away as of right now. But yes, he is gone. What do you think about Hatate's form? It's not been good enough. But listen, it's like our fans don't want to learn lessons, because now I'm seeing people going, just sell him in January, and I'm like, these are the same people that were saying that Engels isn't good enough, and now they're like, what a player. Rio Hatate is an unbelievable player, and has been great for Celtic since the minute he came through the door. I feel like when he gets down on his form, he's really down in his form. I'm not going to lie, but look, at the end of the day, he's a great player, and I don't want to see him go anytime soon, unless it's for big money, and we can go out and replace him very well. But it's going to be hard to replace. He's been so reliable for us as well. But recently, he needs to buck up his ideas. He needs to find his form again, and there's no denying that. Oh God, I'm getting notification after notification as well on here. God, a lot of great questions coming through. The chat is absolutely flying. Played both of them at Celtic Park. I love both of them, and I can't pick. It depends what mood you find me in, but right now I'd be leaning towards cult of personality. But genuinely, it changes up the bastard and whatever. 10 of the players who we got rid of in the 21 summer clear out get in this current squad. Try to remember who left in the 21 summer clear out. Was that when Edouard and such left? Oh, that's one that's going to take a bit of time to think about, and we're coming to the end of the stream, so... I keep up with it, Ben. I keep up with it. I don't exactly get to watch every game and such, but I keep up with what's happening. Mostly through David Buick, who constantly tells me what's happening with Dunfermline, of course. But aye. I think Palmer should be, controversial opinion, I think Palmer should be given more time. He's shown glimpses. I'd give him at the end of the season, same with Hatate. But what is the point? I get what you're saying, right? I get it. This isn't, I get the whole purpose of saying, I'd give him more time, give him at the end of the season. But you've got to look at it realistically. How is he going to get that time? And he's not going to get given it. He's not going to get in the team over Dice and MAEDA. So I don't think keeping him at the end of the season does anything for him. If anything, I think it holds him back. And the less football he plays, the less chance he's going to get better. So, yeah. I would love Ayer in this team. I'd love Edouard in this team as well. I'd love Christie. Could be a good fit squad player. I don't think he'd get into the team. Oh yeah, so apparently Bernabei is away, but there's been no official announcement. Like Celtic haven't said he's away, but apparently he is. So, yeah. Anyway, I need to wrap it up there because I've got 5 asides, and if I don't leave, I'll be late. So, ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in tonight. I love these Monday Q&A streams. We'll be back next week for the exact same thing, and obviously tomorrow we'll be back for a match reaction. So, we'll be here all week. No days off recently. I think there's actually been content every day apart from the 1st of January this year. So, we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well, and it's all down to you guys and the support that you give me. So, thank you all very, very much. But until next time, please take care of yourself. God bless, and yeah. Bye.